Hey, welcome! So today, we're going to talk about something fascinating, the surprising everyday habits that are secretly just draining your motivation. These are things you might not even realize you're doing, but trust me, they're there.
You know that feeling, right? It's that classic hamster wheel feeling. You're busy all day long, but when you finally look up, you've made zero real progress on the things that matter. Well, turns out there are some really specific and super sneaky reasons why that happens.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to count down the 7 biggest motivation killers, starting with a few that are especially tricky. Why? Because they create an illusion of progress. They trick you into thinking you're moving forward when you're really just spinning your wheels.
All right, let's dive right in with number 7. And this first one, oh man, this is something millions of us do every single morning, probably without even thinking twice about it.
You know the one. You wake up, and the very first thing you do is grab your phone. And boom, you're lost for 20 minutes, scrolling through social media, firing off a few replies to messages. It feels like you're getting a head start on the day, but you're actually doing the complete opposite.
And what's so wild is the science behind this. That morning scroll gives you a really cheap hit of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. So right away, you set what's called a passive reward baseline. Your brain basically learns, hey, I can get a reward for doing absolutely nothing. And then when you have to do real work, it feels impossible by comparison.
Okay, coming in at number 6, this is another classic illusion of progress. And I bet this one is sitting on a notepad right next to you as we speak.
Look, we've all been told that being organized is key, right? But a to-do list with like 23 items on it, that's not inspiring. That is a recipe for total paralysis. You might tick off 4 or 5 things, but you end the day feeling like a failure because you're just staring at this mountain of tasks you didn't even touch. And here's the absolute key to understanding this. Motivation runs on the momentum of completion. The most productive people out there don't have these ridiculously long lists. They have shorter, achievable ones they can actually finish. See, that feeling of being done is the fuel. But a lot of us are just running on fumes and calling it ambition.
All right, next up at number 5, we've got another trap that feels super productive but is actually anything but. This is that big trap of consuming way more than you create. You spend hours watching someone build a business on YouTube, and it feels like you're learning, but you're not really learning, you're just spectating. Think of it this way. Motivation is a muscle, and all that consumption, it's like watching someone else lift weights at the gym while your own muscles just shrink. Okay, so we've talked about some of the external things we do, but now we're going to shift gears a little bit. Let's dive into the internal stuff, the psychological games we play with ourselves that just torpedo our motivation before we even have a chance to get started. Okay, number 4. This is a mindset that keeps so many of us completely stuck.
I mean, how many times have you said this to yourself? Oh, I'll do it when I feel ready, or I'm just not motivated right now. This idea of waiting to feel motivated before you start, it is one of the biggest traps out there.
And here's the secret that nobody tells you. We've got it completely backward. It's the action that creates the motivation, not the other way around. Every single time you wait to feel ready, you're just training yourself to be passive. The real trick is to just start. Even if it's messy, start ugly. I promise, the motivation will show up to the party eventually.
Coming in at number 3. Oh, this is a mind trap that is especially dangerous in the age of social media.
You know how it is. You see someone who's years ahead of you. Maybe they've been at it for 5 years, and you just started yesterday. And logically, you know there's a huge gap, but your brain doesn't care. It just sees one thing. They're ahead. I'm behind. What's even the point? And get this. This isn't just in your head. Scientists have found that this kind of social comparison triggers the same neural pathways in your brain as a physical threat. That feeling of being totally paralyzed, that's not laziness. It's literally your body's threat response going haywire over someone else's highlight reel on Instagram. You're not behind. You're just looking at the wrong scoreboard. All right, we are almost at the top. And number 2, the second biggest motivation killer, is this subtle little negotiation we have with ourselves. And let's be honest, it's a negotiation we almost always lose.
You know the script, right? Okay, I'll tackle that huge project right after this one YouTube video. Or I'll get started right after this snack. Sound familiar? The problem is, you've already given yourself the reward. The dopamine is already hit, and now your brain has zero incentive to do the hard thing. You're basically teaching your brain that the hard work is optional.
And that brings us to it, the number 1 motivation killer of them all.
And this one is the most dangerous on the list because it feels so incredibly good in the moment.
So, what is the #1 killer of motivation? It's
This. It's talking about your goals instead of actually doing them. It's that deceptively satisfying act of telling everyone what you're going to do. You announce your big new business idea. You post about the marathon you're going to run. And then, nothing. The fire just fizzles out.
So why is this so deadly? Well, research shows that when you announce your goals, your brain gets the same hit of social satisfaction as it would if you had actually achieved them. You get the praise, you get the validation, you get all the rewards without doing any of the work. So your brain gets all the credit, it basically checks the box, and the actual incentive to do the hard work, it's just gone.
So there you have it, 7 hidden killers of motivation. The real question now isn't just about knowing them, it's about doing something with that knowledge. So as you look back at this list, I want you to ask yourself a serious question. Which one of these traps are you going to escape first?